enjoy, because we touched on this on our first episode. First episode, we touched on the with Lynx. Shout out to Lynx with the backdoor racism that we have here in Virginia Beach, and what that event meant to people that look like me. You know what I mean? And people that are forward thinking. You know what I mean? And people that are not necessarily conservative in their mindset and what could be, especially musicians. You know what I'm saying? Artists. Like it was such a beautiful experience, and I'm so happy that it 0% incidents from the police chief, and I'm so glad.
It was all minor.
It was bullshit.
Normal weekend stuff.
Less, even some people say it was
Normal
less than like a
weekend
regular Friday or Saturday.
Right.
Yeah.
So in general, I'm absolutely excited for being in the service industry because it's allowing more. I want to call it like freedom, but more just an open mind to what could be, to take this area into like the next level, to where we're getting new shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking around, we see you got the Vibe District that's like popping up, like all the artwork that's there, the different bands that are coming in. You know what I mean? Like the artists. You know what I mean? The culture that we're building a culture currently for our future. You know what I mean? Our people that are coming after us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I feel like in general, we're in this like Virginia Beach Renaissance area. You know what I mean? Where like we're just trying a bunch of new shit. You know what I mean?
Trying to figure it the hell out.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like we need a venue here. In Virginia
We need,
Beach, like a proper Virginia Beach venue.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, they had the Dome. You
Yeah.
know, you had Jimi Hendrix, the Rolling Stones. I mean, every single we've got a lot of old timers that come through the record store, and they're just like, we've got 3 rooms full of, we don't do CDs or T-shirts or anything like that. It's just strictly vinyl. We have all these old timers that come in like, man, I saw the Rolling Stones at the Dome, or I saw all these people at the Dome, and I'm like, man, it would be so cool to have a venue like that just brought in the class acts of it was a totally different scene back then.
Right.
So I get that. And the focus is a lot more, I guess, in like the pop stuff now.
Yeah.
I mean, you got your, everybody is like, instead of like liking like Jimi Hendrix or like, the Beatles or, anybody like that, it's like, I really love like Billie Eilish or like whatever. And that's cool, but yeah, I would agree. It'd be sick to have just, and there are a bunch of great venues. There are some really cool venues. A newer one, Elevation 27 being one of them.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Shout out to Andrew Reed.
Yep. Super awesome
that's right.
sound system, a beautiful space. I played in that spot, but not when it was Elevation, when it was Stepping Out. If you guys remember that place.
Yeah.
Dude, so that place was like
The karaoke night there was crazy.
it was like a mix between like Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark? I don't know, man. It was like super weird in there. But that space is really cool.
Really?
But yeah, and then of course the Norva, they
That is a great venue.
They bring out all the greatest. If anybody decides to come through and actually play in Virginia, that's usually where the Norva, the National, one of the two spots, or both. But yeah, to have the Dome was such an iconic, kind of like the old Jewish Mother. It was like they were just very.
That's kind of what I'm thinking about. Like the old Jewish Mother was
the
nuts.
small, just
intimate. Everybody's there. Like
300, 350 cap room. Just I don't even know. It may have only been like 250 to 300 cap
I'm
room.
sure they fit 300.
But
I was gonna say fire code is not being.
It
Sell
was
the
not
tickets.
enforced in those days, man.
Sell the fucking ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
But you had people like Modest Yahoo come through there, and then I think somebody said Mac Miller was there back like a long time ago, just doing his thing. Like I heard just all these different, and like you said, Gaslight Anthem was there as well.
Gaslight was there.
Yeah.
That they played there in the Peppermint Beach Club. I mean, yeah,
Like when he was like crazy, Mac Miller was like crazy young.
he had to have been.
Was it Eric? Do you remember Eric from Yard House? Yeah, I remember him. He said something about that after he passed away. He had mentioned something about him and
Right.
his brother, but that's
He
just
had to
crazy.
have been super young. Yeah, to play at the OG Jewish Mother. But yeah, man, that would be super.
What's your
We'll
feeling?
get there.
What's your feeling on something in the water?
I'm
and they haven't released the fucking the set.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Are you on it?
No,
You
I
should be.
wish I was. And that's something that I've talked to some other musicians about this too, and they're like, man, it'd be so cool to like have like some,
Local shit.
some local stuff on there. And I think they're gonna get there, eventually. Right. But I think right now what they're focusing on is getting the festival to a level of notoriety where it's just like you don't want to miss this,
right. Right.
So
I mean,
the first 2 years, it's going to be it's going to be an amazing lineup, just like, and hopefully the weather is going to cooperate a little bit more this year. But yeah, I don't know what's up with that. They were supposed to release the lineup last week, and all these people have already bought tickets.
They've sold out. They sold out of VIP and GA.
Yeah, so it's like and that's they're obviously off to a good start. But I'm really pumped on it for a number of reasons. I think that it's so cool and important, especially as an artist. A lot of times you'll meet these, Pharrell is a huge star. When he walks into a room, it's like all the air is just sucked out of the room, and it's just like, spotlight on talent. But for him to come in and show so much appreciation and love for the spot where he cultivated all of, a lot of his talent and spent a lot of his time, he used to skateboard and stuff around town, and so that is really, really cool. I have so much respect for him, coming back, and instead, most of these pop stars that you meet, they're super closed off, and they're like, you gotta like go through their body, they got like bodyguards and all this shit. Like, dude, no, he's just a real dude, and he's very open, just super open. Like, yes, I want, like, talk to me. Like, I want to, I want to connect with my hometown, and I think that's super cool. That's definitely the first thing that I love seeing. And that in and of itself just creates all this excitement, I think. Yeah. But I love seeing the shift in attitude of that weekend and the reputation that it had. And I would see all these places during college weekend that would be boarded up or whatever. And I was just like, that's
fucked.
It's so fucked. It's so fucked. And so to see that change in attitude, and to see, just people, people like you touched on it earlier, people that you don't know, haven't met, doesn't matter what side of the aisle they sit on, the color of their skin, whatever. To see people just genuinely excited they're like, hey, we're at this event together, and this is cool. This is going to be a really cool experience for us, and just, music is powerful in that regard, in that it can bring everyone together, no matter what sort of other stupid bullshit most humans disagree on in life. Like, music is something that everybody is like, that everybody loves, that at least I think everybody loves, but so that change in attitude for that weekend has been really excited, and has me really excited. And but yeah, and to see the places down at the beach like the Vibe District starting to really kind of get in their groove and get, we had all these, Norfolk kind of had the same thing. They had the Neon District or whatever, and it's like all these different towns have these little districts, these art districts, and it's like, well, what is actually happening there, right? Like, what is actually being what breath of fresh air is being given back to the community that you can really say, hey, this is our, arts district, and this is like something special. A lot of places just have it, and they're like, well, this is like cool. Like, you got some paintings on like walls and stuff. Like,
but is there anything incubated in
what's
here?
going on?
Happening?
Like, where's the sense of community?
Right.
And that's something that I've seen. Last year I saw that extreme sense of community in Virginia Beach, both with locals and people that just came here for the festival. It was just like a big camaraderie, and that's exciting to me. And it's cool to see Virginia Beach. I've always had the firm belief that Virginia Beach could be an area where it's just like, you want to see live music, or you want to see awesome art, or you want to just see cool restaurants, just cool shit. Yeah. Virginia Beach could be that place. And I think that in the next 4 or 5 years, we're really going to start to see that start to happen. I think we're watching it happen now. Yeah. So that's exciting to me.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely digging into that artistic feel. I mean, we've always had, a bunch of mom and pop, one-off type of concepts that are down here, especially with like the bars and the restaurants, and people are really starting to like really push the fucking envelope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Shack was a very large push to that envelope. No one really knew if it was going to succeed or not. Fuck.
yeah, no.
You know what I
Best
mean?
business plan of all time too. It's like, hey,
Once I
it's
came, I
like,
was this
no
is
overhead, literally no overhead. You know what I mean? It's like let's put a couple of shacks in the middle of this
fucking
place,
field.
Genius.
and all of a sudden it was just like everybody wants to be there.
We're outside and we're drinking. What
Yeah,
the fuck?
man.
Yeah.
During the summertime, it's great. I have a hard time like going to like if it takes more than like 20 minutes to get a beer or whatever. Like I'm like I can't do it. I can't do it.
That's all we
But
found is in dive bars.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, it's like that's why like you'll find me at like Shuckers. Except for Thanksgiving time and Christmas when like everybody and their mom is like back in town and they're like, let's go. But yeah, it's crazy. Like that place just like it was like from its inception it was just like poof, everybody just flocked there.
We did a good job.
You did a great job.
We did a great job.
Did a great job.
We did a great
the
job,
Orange
yeah.
Crushes, man. It's like
That wasn't us, but that shit's nuts.
Yeah.
The Orange Crush thing?
It's just it's nuts. It's like Virginia Beach's thing. It's like Virginia Beach's like drink.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers come from out of town. They're like, we heard there's even working now at other restaurants, no matter where it is.
Yeah,
Orange
it doesn't even
Crush.
matter. Yeah.
Can I?
I heard that there's a thing called Orange Crush. Yeah. Do you want one?
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh shit! What the fuck
You're
just
like,
happened?
oh god, I gotta buy.
So, speaking on Bennett Wales and the Relief, what is coming up next? You guys just got finished in the studio, didn't you?
Yeah, like 1.5 years ago.
Jesus.
No, it's been a long time coming. We've been working on this album, slaving on this new album for the last 1.5 to 2-ish years. It is done. I can confirm it is done. But we've got a bunch. We've amassed all this video footage from the last almost 2 years. Our buddy Will Clark, he is an amazing photographer, videographer, and he's done a lot of really, really great videos for us and for other folks around town as well. So we're just going to be slowly kind of trickling out a song here, a song there. We've got some really cool videos in the next month or so. You're going to start seeing some stuff from our camp, audio visual wise. So, but yeah, new album slated to come out in January 2020.
You have a name for it?
Album 2. It's so
Yeah.
you always try to think of names for what can I call this album? I'm just I hate doing that shit. I'm just it's the second one. It's after the first one, So but yeah, that should be coming out January 2020. We've got a lot of really cool stuff. We're gonna be burning up the road and playing a lot more out of town stuff. We're going to do a couple of at home shows this coming year, but our focus is just trying to get the gospel of rock and roll out to up and down the East Coast and abroad and everywhere else. So
Hell yeah.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
Fucking, I love it.
yes.
With the real quick with the traveling, how do you set that up? How do you go about doing that?
Well, we now have an awesome agency, Madison House, who handles all of our booking. And, a lot of the shows and stuff, a lot of it comes down to finding bands in your travels that you really like and bands that you want to play with, bands that you can hang with, and cultivating those relationships so that when you're, they're like, hey, we're X, Y, and Z. We're from, Wisconsin or whatever. We really like you guys. Can we come play a show in Virginia Beach? And you're like, yeah, absolutely. And they're like, yeah, let's do that. And then we'll bring you guys out here. So it's trading shows and not that that's the basis of the relationship, but a lot of it comes down to building relationships with other bands and finding bands that you like to hang with, bands that you want to travel with. But outside of that, yeah, a booking agency has been our booking agency has been extremely helpful in facilitating a lot of those travels and stuff like that.
Cool.
I'm ready. I look forward to traveling a bunch more. I mean, I want to be somewhere different, every day. I want to be playing.
joke.
I want to be in a
Sounds
different
awesome.
city every
That does
night.
sound cool.
That's
Sounds freaking awesome.
that's the dream. But yeah, that's how that's
Okay,
handled.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
It's fucking badass.
absolutely.
That is badass.
Just a bunch of dudes piling into a
That's
van
it.
and
Fucking
keeping it moving.
playing gospel, baby.
playing the gospel around.
Drinking whiskey, playing gospel.
That's it.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
it.
That sounds like the fucking life. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's all right. It's all right. It's not a bad life.
We've talked about being on the road